Hi all, welcome back. Enemy Match in Kharkov, German Solo Part 39. Watched a couple of parts today on the train on the way to my mum's in the bus. So I'm not really caught up yet though. I got 34 and 35 watched, 36, 37, 38, this is 39. Okay. And yeah, I think I might want to be adding some notes about 38. I feel like there's maybe I feel like I'm maybe getting. I thought about looking over and maybe scrapping it actually. I'm going on about this 9.25 and it's as if I'm trying to find other things, aren't I? I think without going too much into it, I feel it's strange when you're moving adjacent to multiple German units and you feel like you want to pick between the two before you then look into other things. I think that's maybe what's getting me, but I mean, I should, what John's come out and confirmed, I should just take that as is. If you move adjacent to multiple German units, as long as it's not, if there's anything specifying that the German unit you should target is one of the two or one of the multiple that you've got, fair enough. If there's not, then just 9.25 round them all. I came across another thing, and the one I've just watched, I've just put a big note in the header because I just made them public just now. That would be in 34. Yeah, 34. And it's regarding movement method 4, moving to cause surround. And well, I've wrote what I've thought of it. I'm just a little confused, I guess. I made the mistake of moving a unit adjacent to cause surround. I think it's on this unit here. And I just move adjacent, cause surround, and I don't even consider 9.25. And I thought, I forgot about 9.25 there. But 9.25, the second part, preference B, and the first one's about operational limits, which we're not in, but preference B is to cause surround. So it kind of takes everything away. It's automatically like dealing with that, so you kind of don't need to look at 9.25. But what baffled me was that this is preference B of cause surround, and it says is adjacent to the German unit being surrounded. So that tells me if you're going to be adjacent to the German unit, what if you're not, Grant? Yeah, of course. See, just by reading that there, I'm thinking about it again. Because if you're not adjacent to the German unit, then that's why you need preferences C and D. Yeah, okay. Right, I'm going to go and edit that little header now because that's sunk in now. Okay, hopefully I got that edit in before too many people read it and thought, what are you talking about, Grant? You clearly need them. If preference B doesn't apply, then you move on to preference C, and that doesn't interfere with 9.25 because you're not adjacent. It all works out. Okay, that's good that works out there. And the fact that I didn't check 9.25 here, I suppose I should still look at it because come the time when we are not in the operational limits thing, that is the preference A of it, isn't it? What is it? I mean, we just skip by that one, don't we? A hex within the current Soviet operational limit. So that could tell you that this hex could be surrounding that unit, and this hex might not be surrounding it, but this hex might be in the operational limit and this hex might not. So then it would actually adjust into that hex, for instance, assuming you could move into that hex with the movement and whatever. Okay, but that makes sense to me now. That's fair enough. Yeah, but the last part what am I on now? 39, 38 I think it was last night. Yeah, I just felt like I was maybe going on a bit about it and whatever, and I'm definitely going to have to put some comments in the header about it. Okay, let's just move on and hope nothing comes up to make me start going into that again. Because we should have that done and dusted by now. And there's me trying to even create something here regarding it, and it's not there. So okay, but I understand now. Fair enough. Right. Well, the Soviets they've done their cards, which is great. And I'll tell you what, I remembered nothing happened up here. well, this guy is going out of supply, so that's really good for us. I thought they might have been able to get, I'm assuming the first guards, did that get used as a combat tactic? I think it did, didn't it? Yeah. So that's good. So, but we now have the freedom of 2 cards when the Soviets can't respond. And okay, it's nothing terribly exciting, although decisions have to be made here. I think I finished last night thinking that what is the point in leaving this guy here? If I'm waiting on, well, I was thinking about it last night. Been thinking about it, just the fact if I wait there, yeah, I mean, I think I talked about it. If I wait there and pop-off activate, then I'm going to be saying, oh, damn. If I move away and pop-off activate, then I'm going to be saying, damn. So, but what's the point in waiting if I'm not going to want them to activate? If I'm going to wait, I feel like I'm wanting to be able to feel that I can stand up against them. And if they were all coming across the river, maybe, but there's a breakthrough into here now that reduces that part. I also don't have the other unit. Well, he was in there, wasn't he? Which, you know, if we had that still, maybe I'd feel like it might be worthwhile hanging on. And the other thing I started thinking was, do I really want everything stacked in Kharkov? I don't know, I mean, 10 strength, 6 steps. I don't know, it's not bad, is it? I mean, you take 10 strength, 6 steps, you know, they're going to eventually have a force to be able to attack that. I mean, well, the guaranteed attack is going to be 30 strength, isn't it? And if we can get somebody, and this was the other thing, if I get the core Rouse units out, I think I'm targeting them to maybe move in to the back of here. But I started thinking, can I not maybe get something in the front or stop, you know, the hexes round about? Because, you know, if I've got a unit in there, then they can't stack 3 units in there to attack me. So I started thinking about maybe can I get this unit, but I can't, because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then this is crossing the minor river there. I don't know if that's a clever thought or not. It's maybe not, but it's maybe more sensible stacking it in there. And then, well, then again, having adjacent, well, you know, I think I'm better with them both in that hex, and maybe the core Rouse units possibly in here, or, I mean, if I could move them into there, that might be not a bad idea. And then it means, okay, again, it's like a bump in the road. It's like, okay, the pop-off units come in here and then they say, right, well, we're going to have to take these 2 guys out of the way, and that's more time to let us get our reserves out and maybe then strengthen again. So I don't know. I think I really should bail out of there, really, before the end of the term. What is the point in waiting? This guy's got more chance in there, you know? And yes, okay, it then opens a big gap between here. It lets these pop-off units flood through here, but they're eventually going to get this guy. They're not, I mean, the next 7, 13, 16... I mean, they've got 3-1 odds right there. And, you know, they could have a little bit more. I mean, okay, it's not a definite. I mean, the guy could hang on. Here we go again. Now, I started with my thought, right, let's get this guy out of here. Now I'm starting to think other thoughts. I mean, this card, using it to activate any one unit and bring that guy back, it's not a big deal. I would only be like repairing one of these, which is quite important as well. I've got 3 of them in the limited units box, so using this to replace one of the points. Don't think, did we get the supplemental card for them this turn? I don't think we did we? So a good chance to get the supplemental card, which could replace the other 2, and then use this primary card next time to then deploy 3 of them. So let's just have a look. I don't think I did. No, I didn't get the supplemental for 48th Panzer Corps. Now, is it possible that's not a card that we've got in our... No, there's a Kampfgruppe card coming in, but it comes in next turn as well, on turn 4. So what does that do actually? Right, no, it doesn't. It would let me deploy, but it doesn't replace points, the Kampfgruppe ones. So yeah, so I suppose there is that. It is a good use of a card replacing the point. Hopefully we get the supplemental card early, replace the other 2, and then deploy all 3 of them. Well, actually, hold on. Not deploy all 3 of them, because we're getting 3 out of the calendar as well, so it would be deploying 6 of them. However, if I don't use that for that, it's still deploying 5 of them if I do it that way. Then again, what if I don't get the supplemental card? Am I going to like wait? You know, but I get this card. I'm going to say, right, I'm going to wait, and then what if the supplemental card's the card that's left behind, and we're not even seeing it this turn? So yeah, that could be dependent on that. And I know, well, we want to deploy the 2 core Rouse units with us, so yeah, I mean, and it makes more sense using that for that and using this for the any one unit if you're going to do it. I just don't know if I'm going to do it or not. Well, why don't you just waste some time and kill time a bit, yeah, by doing this first grant? Well, we're going to get 2 impulses in the trot anyway. The Soviets don't have any more cards, so it's just us. So well, yeah, I'll give you a little more thinking time. So let's do this then. Okay, so now we don't have an option here. We got a reply back from Martin confirming that we can't use 4 Panzer armies to think that they're part of this army, which it's only when we're carrying out commands that these are considered part of the 4th Panzer Army, not in deployment. And it does say that in the rules. I suppose I did wonder. It was maybe one of the daft questions of the day. Fair enough. Oh yeah, I asked my daft question of today, which was, when we're deploying reserves, can we not just find it in the... Was it? Yeah, when you're 12.2 on page 31, Soviet reserves and Soviet attacks, and in particular the Bullet 3, which is this is one of the requirements, and it is a unit in the same front other than a reserve placed in this attack is in or proximate to the hex. And I was having slight doubts about was it not over here when I was doing it? I was having slight doubts about the fact that could you use units that have already moved to count that proximity. And I guess because I think when you're always looking at proximity, I don't think you're ever looking at a unit that's moved when you're looking at it. Then again, I might have this wrong. Maybe there are other times when you are considering when it says is something proximate, and then you're looking at a unit that's already moved or maybe even already attacked. But both John Brown and Michael and Martin Martin kind of confirmed it in the end that, yeah, you can use units that have moved. They can still be part of the proximity check for that. So, yeah, it maybe was a daft one as well, but I just like to know for sure, I don't know, maybe I'm too fussy at times, I suppose. But yeah, good to know now that I've got that. I can not worry about that and have doubts. Okay. Yeah, and going back to the core Rouse unit. So we cannot deploy them unless we can deploy them within 3 of this unit. And you can see we can't. We're not going to be able to deploy them within 3 of that and be able to trace supply, etc. So, well, actually I can probably just use a playride for this, I think. And I did tell you about how John Butterfield had confirmed that it did look like some omission from the rule book within the supply rules, that there's no mention of the what is it? clear hex adjacent to the supply head well, it's mentioned in there, but it doesn't say that it's not allowed when you're doing strategic reserve deployment. But it did say that is correct. You can't use the clear hex when you're doing German strategic reserve deployment. So I was right in that thinking, because I wanted to try and put them. I thought if I got them in this hex, my next activation could go 1, 2, 3, 4 into Kharkov. So, however, we're not allowed to do that with the strategic, and I can't deploy them with, well, it's saying standard in the rule book. What is it, tactical? It says standard on the player aid there, standard reserve deployment, which is a bit odd. But anyway, so I need to deploy them with strategic. Now that means they need to be in a supply head, not in a clear hex adjacent to a supply head, in a supply head in the unit's army area, and at least 5 hexes away from. What a noise I get around here. At least 5 hexes away from non-isolated enemy unit, town or city, but that's reduced to 2 if it's placed in the map edge. So, yeah, I mean, I could get them a bit closer to the action by coming across here, but I don't want them across there. I'm giving up on Belgrade. So, if anything, these guys are maybe going to, you know what, maybe even just block in here, because it's not going to be long before these third tank units and whatever else is in there are going to start coming down towards Kharkov. We need to build some defence around Kharkov, I think. Well, I think we do because we're still on 7 victory points, by the way. And remember that we've only got a whole, and that's how Soviets finished with this turn. They're not going to gain any more than 7. That's what they're getting. So remember, it's less than 12 for us to get a victory, although we do need to own Kharkov with that 12. So more reason to put stuff round about it as well. Less than 12 is it's less than 12 for the victories. So 11 or less, and they're on 7. So we can't afford to lose 4 more points. So, okay, 2 are going to go in Belgrade. 1's going to go here. That's 3. Where do they get the other 1? I mean, okay, things are going to be open. Would they get down to Gotnya? Because we're not bothering about that. Would they come right around and ignore Kharkov to come to Valky? Well, that's the Voronezh front objective, so maybe. And like I say, that's 1, 2, 3, takes them to 10. One of them would take them to 11. They would need to get more than 1 to make it 12 and then stop my victory. I mean, I'm sounding like it looks like a very, very high chance we could win next turn. I'm sure that's not the case, and I'm sure I'm going to see something totally different. I mean, this is almost kind of open as well, because our line's collapsing, isn't it? And that's because once Popov activate a game, this is going to move somewhere. I'm not quite sure where. I would think it might be going this way somewhere. I could probably look to see the options, but we'll just wait on that happening. But yeah, I mean, there's empty victory points lying about that, to be honest, for these mechanised units that can move 6 points, it's not that far away. Look, 1, in fact, can he not even just now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, he's 1 short. That's just in 1 movement there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, there you go. Lozovia is he's proximate to Lozovia right now. So yeah, that makes me think, oh right, okay. So it's not going to be that easy to come out of turn 4 with just them having 11 points, I don't think. Yeah. Okay, so I'm just looking at where I thought I just got, was it there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 5 away. It's within the army area. And if I put them there, I'm looking at moving 1, 2, 3. Remember, they're just infantry, so I can cross that for free. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, and then into there for 4. So that would maybe be, like I say, it would stop this coming along. Well, it would be a speed bump for that coming along. And remember, we're getting a bunch of reserves, and we're hoping the 2nd SS units and the 48 Corps units are going to be able to come in here somewhere as well. And well, they're in this area, admittedly, but you know, and here, and maybe be able to come in this side. And yeah, I mean, I think there's a chance. I think we need to go and protect Kharkov, because if Kharkov goes, and there's no danger we're winning on turn 4, you know. So yeah, because that's part of the victory condition, is to own Kharkov. So so that seems like a pretty decent hex, to be honest. I mean, the only other choice is 1, 2, 3, 4 coming down here somewhere, but that one allows you to reach there. But I've got other options with this by going 1, 2, 3, 4 into here, you know. Yes, it would have been nice to have reached there, but we can't. We just can't do it. We're not allowed to go in the square hex, which is frustrating, but it's the rules. Oh, wait a minute. Would I be able to strategic... We've actually not looked at strategic movement, have we? If the rules, I mean, they were quite restrictive compared to enemy action or den and the Soviet solo rules. Let me find something to read about that. So here we go. Yeah, I haven't read this at all. Well, while playing the game anyway. I did read through the rules, like I say, a couple of times. Page 29, 10.6, German strategic movement bonus. Starting the game turn 2, an active German unit in supply may move with a strategic movement bonus within the following restrictions. The unit can't start its move adjacent to an enemy unit or garrison. Okay, that's pretty much the same. The unit can't move adjacent to an enemy unit or garrison during the activation. Yeah, just the same. The unit can't enter a Soviet-owned town or city during the activation. Yeah. Strategic movement is not allowed in light mud ground conditions. Okay, is that it? Right, there's no restriction on... Yeah, because the restrictions on being further advanced than units in your army were kind of brutal the last time. So that's not... There's nothing to that this time. And then the bonus are armour mechanised infantry... Movement cost to enter road hex through a connected road hex is half a movement point. Yep. When entering a hex not connected by road, normal movement cost apply. Infantry movement allowance is increased by 2. So it's the same. Okay, so if nothing interferes with us, we could strategically move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now I couldn't move any I couldn't move 6 into there because then I'd be adjacent to them, but I could move into there. Right, I think that's that sorted. I'm going in here with these guys. So I'm going to deploy them both in the same hex, because it's more than likely they're both going to move together, and my thinking is that we'll maybe put them in there or maybe in there. We're still not sure what we're doing with this, but yeah, okay. Well, that's my impulse over, but the thing is now, Grant, you don't get any time to think because it's your impulse again. So yeah, that was okay deploying them there though. In a supply head, yep, it's on the road that leads off to a supply hex. Yeah, supply map edge hex. At least 5 hexes away from a non-isolated enemy unit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. Nothing else round about any closer. Yeah, that's it. That's the only restrictions to that. So, okay, go with that. Right. So what are you going to do with this card, Grant? What are you going to do with it? Come on. Yeah, should I stay or should I go? As the Clash would say. Yeah, do we come back or do we not? I don't know. Right, well, pause the camera and think about it, Grant. They've got their thoughts on what to do, and they'll be thinking themselves, well, I wouldn't do that, or I would do that. I don't want to, but I feel like it's probably more sensible to do it. Because, I mean, the other possibility is this guy is probably going to get smashed next turn. And then, if that happens, and then these pop-off units can start coming in here and blocking, well, admittedly, you're coming around, Grant, aren't you? But if anything gets into that hex, I can't then make that move. So, it's only a matter of time, isn't it? Okay, I think I'm going to move on. I think I've decided, yeah. I mean, I don't know. Again, the old saying, I've only played the game once, so maybe once I see what the result is after this, I'll maybe then make a different choice next time. So I'm going to play this card to activate any one unit, and it only needs to be in supply. I'm pretty sure that's the case, and he can't attack, but he's not going to attack anyway. So I'm just looking for 6.1. Once per game turn, you may activate any one German unit able to trace supply at the moment of activation by playing any command card, regardless of the unit's designation. Able to trace supply. It needs to be able to trace supply when you activate them, because that's what I kind of got caught out with that in the last game, in the Soviet Sola, I think, when I was like, oh no, I can't trace supply, but he can. And can't attack. A unit activated in this manner can't attack. And then we've got the wee marker to use, but again, I'm using it right at the end of the turn, so it's kind of irrelevant. I'm still not sure, but right. So 1, 2 breaking zone of control, 3, 4, 5 into Kharkov. That does mean we've got 6 steps in Kharkov, 10 strength. So that's it, full up. Yeah, let's just see what happens. Okay, so that's my impulse over. Put that guy underneath, actually. And yeah, bring it on. Bring it on to Kharkov. We're waiting for you. We're ready for you. So unfortunately, I don't get to replace one of these 48 core units, but well, like I said, if I'd done it, we would be then maybe waiting on. Oops, I'm putting that in the wrong discard pile. That's not clever. Right, okay, so that's end of turn. We're just going to go with that, and that's that. I'm not going to bother flipping over that to activate any one unit marker, because it's just about to. Well, we're ending the turn right now. Yeah, am I going to regret that? I'm probably not going to know, because, like I say, as soon as pop-off activate, I'm going to be like, oh, right, nothing there. Right, what if I did have something there? I mean, the first unit that moves in there is going to have to stop. It's probably going to be this guy. That's good. Yeah, okay. We'll see what happens. See what happens. Right, end of turn phase. We're not on turn 4 yet. And this is a bit that we would be checking to see if the Soviets had less than 12 victory points, we would be winning. But that's a whole turn away. Return all combat chips to the cup. They must have been replenished quite recently, because there's nothing in there. Remove disperse and forward support markers. I don't think we've got any dispersed again, have we? Nope, nobody's dispersed. Turn 4, check garrison markers and villages for removal. Well, we're not at that yet. And then turn 7 removals. This is from turn 7, sorry. From turn 4, from turn 7. Then advance again turn marker. And we'll have a look at what. Because things happen in turn 4, don't they? Things start to happen. The good thing that starts to happen, we're getting a load of reserves here. A load. Okay. Well, that's it. What we are, we're only at 30 minutes. Well, could I set up the start of the next turn? That's probably a bit silly. Ah, you know what? I'll just cut this at 30 minutes. I'm here to carry on anyway, so it'll just be a case of. In fact, what I might do is just pause the cat. Battery life's a bit. Right. I'll just finish the turn here, and just put this out as a 30-minute bit, and I'll be back shortly though with the start of turn 4. Okay, cheers.